Everything's broken.
My grandma doesn't know how to use crypto.
I think bridging can be very much improved.
The thing that I like to complain about right now
is a beautiful thing.
User experience, like so many hacks, so many people that can steal your assets if you're not being careful, all these fishy links, how to use wallets, like my grandma doesn't know how to use crypto. So I think that's what's broken because you're not relying on somebody to protect you, because you have the choice, like securing and custody your own assets. That's what makes crypto crypto. So I think it's preserving the choice and the ability to take advantage of decentralization, but at the same time making it easier to use and more difficult to get hacked and just like really lose all your stuff.
What's broken is the language and usability. I think bridging can be very much improved. Better like layer 0 things and better L2 things, just on like both ends. Everything is super new. Everything's broken.
We need to fix like make it more specific around like the value that's created. We need to create more collaboration between people that creates non-zero sum economic value for people that I think will be able to be monetized. Allow people to quit part of their job and earn money based on the value that they create.
Everything's broken. User experience is really hard. It's expensive. It's extremely unsafe for mass market users. It's very confusing. It's great that ideologically it's a more advanced way to build global scale systems. From the user experience standpoint, it's very much behind and extremely broken. So anything that improves user experience for like real problems that crypto can solve, be it money transfers or like yields or media and NFT space, anything that makes this experience slightly closer to what people experience on Web2 will drive a lot of value.
Unfortunately, it needs to be fixed right now is the regulations. It really inhibits innovation, especially founders who are based in, those big countries like China or US. They spend so much time and energy and money being compliant rather than trying to innovate. I think this is a big hurdle to the industry.
I think there's a notion that like tokens is the end all be all, right? Like, oh, I'll launch a token, I'll use a token to incentivize my users, then everyone's going to use my product because they're all being incentivized. Then I'm going to list a token on a DEX and everyone's going to make a bunch of money and you'll never have to raise any money again. That's actually not a fine way of thinking, right? Like the right way to think about it is say, am I building something where tokens are a central part of the architecture of what I'm doing, or is it just like an output of what I'm doing? So I think that the whole like tokenization of it is a beautiful thing, and that's partially why I love it. But I think what's broken is the idea that you need to shoehorn a token into every single thing. And I think that actually creates this narrative in the public eye around, is this scammy or not? So use tokens, use them well, think deeply about them and how they fit into your architecture, but it's not the holy grail, right? You have to figure it out and how it works. And I feel like that's a part of what is currently broken here.
The thing that I like to complain about right now would be narrative, that like people don't distinguish between crypto and Web3. Crypto is the technology, it's peer-to-peer cash. Web3 exclusively needs to leverage this technology, but Web3 is more about the ethos, decentralization, money Legos, building global systems, like the future. All of the people who get very obviously and correctly identified as crypto bros, these very toxic people who are getting into these fights with literally everyone about how everything that's not Bitcoin is a shitcoin, and like the bad narratives, it gets associated, all of us get put together. And so like something like Luna or Terra will break. People will hold their Bitcoin or ETH in Coinbase and Gemini and they'll be like, I'm part of the revolution. It's like, you're not part of the revolution.